Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the week of. No, this is the eclipse reading, not a weekly reading. We are going to look at the two eclipses, one in Pisces, one in Virgo. The Pisces one's on the 7th, the Virgo one's on the 21st of September. And your first row here is going to represent what is being revealed during these eclipses. So for the eclipse season, which is eclipse season is about the next 6 months to a year, if not longer. Sometimes eclipses can last for a long time. This says luck is on your side. You also have this other card that says emotions are running high. What's very interesting is I'm pretty sure Pisces also had something about luck in their reading. The reason it's interesting right now is because, of course, the two eclipses are happening in Pisces and Virgo. So there could be a lot of luck for the two of you. Pisces and Virgo coming in for you. Definitely an emotional time, especially this first one that we're having in Pisces on the 7th. So even if you're watching this after the 7th, doesn't matter. Again, eclipses can last for up to like 6 months after the eclipse happens. We can be feeling the energy. So it is like an emotional time. The thing I would say is that we are probably developing a new emotional set point here, Virgo. That's what you are doing, I feel. And so it's like kind of like one of those things where you could just be developing emotionally. I don't think it's like good or bad, really. I just think it's, something that you're working on, right? And that's perfectly fine. So again, in your first row here for what's being revealed to you at this time, you have the Fool, the Knight of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles showing up here. I do feel like you have to maybe take some bigger risks at this time with the Fool. The Fool isn't that big of a deal, though. The whole point of the Fool is that the risk he's taking is the risk of looking like a fool, right? He has to take a leap of faith off this cliff that he's standing at the edge of. And the whole point of the Fool is looking foolish. That is the risk he has to take. But, anyone who's done anything has to take the risk, anything important in the world, they had to take the risk of potentially being called a fool for what they did. So, again, I think that being messy, like I said to you in your last reading, I think it would be a good thing for you to get comfortable with, especially because the South Node being in your sign is also trying to get you to be not perfect, right? It's trying to get you to learn that sometimes nothing's perfect in life, right? Sometimes you just have to take the risk even without things being perfect, right? And so I think that's what's going on here with the Fools. Like, the Fool's like trying to get you to take those types of risks. And again, these aren't like huge, big risks. It's just like the risk of, speaking up and being wrong. The risk of starting a business and it not working out. That's always a risk. The risk of starting a relationship and it doesn't work out, right? Like, those are the things that will get you to grow the most. I also, by the way, just like a little bit of a random side note here, I feel like you're over-prepared. Not always, but every once in a while, I feel the Fool is like over-prepared for his journey. He has this tiny little sack on his back, and he's about to go through the entire major arcana. So the whole point of this is that he's about to go on this long-ass journey, and he's only bringing that tiny little sack on his back, right? So, again, I think some of you are like either like a little bit over-prepared for something that you're thinking about doing. You have the Knight of Swords. I think that the Knight of Swords can be about jumping to conclusions. I feel that could be being revealed to you at this time. We're in a time of truth, but like one of the truths that we could be, and especially you, Virgo, could be admitting to yourself is that where maybe you jump to conclusions, or maybe you didn't give something enough time. It's also kind of interesting because Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, your opposite sign. Saturn is time. And it is popping into my head with this Knight of Swords that you could really be understanding now, like how much time or how little time to give certain things in your life. It's almost like you're understanding the amount of effort that needs to go into something for it to work or not work. And I don't know, there's something about that popping into my head. I think it's going to be an important lesson for you, probably because you won't be wasting your time anymore, which is great. You have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is stability and growth. And, I feel a lot of you could be improving your stability financially, especially with the Four of Pentacles. So I do feel pretty good about this. I feel like you are actively doing things to grow financially. And yeah, that's like really all I am getting here with the Four of Pentacles. Like, I just feel like you're doing things to grow. That's the best way I can put it. Even though the Four of Pentacles is not a card of growth, what I will say is that the Ten of Pentacles is, and the Hierophant is as well, because the Hierophant is a teacher. Obviously, if we learn new things, we are growing. So, I don't know, I feel like for some reason I just get the word growth on that Four of Pentacles. With the Fool, you have the Judgment card. Tons of judgments coming up in these readings. I've done about half of these readings so far for this set of readings. And a lot of people have been getting the Judgment card. Eclipses can absolutely bring up like kind of wake up calls, I think, sometimes. But that's not like completely accurate. But I do feel that eclipses are kind of like fate, so fated things can happen to us during eclipses, or things that have to do with fate or our path or our destiny. These are all things that can happen during eclipses, and there could be some sort of wake up call. Now, one thing I will say is like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't rush, but I do feel you are going to do something quickly over the next 6 months, like a quick change or a quick, it's like something like out of character here for you, Virgo, but like in a good way. So don't be surprised if like all of a sudden you change direction in your life over the next 6 months to a year, or if all of a sudden you, these eclipses cause you to do something differently than what you're doing right now. And it could happen very quickly is kind of what's popping into my head. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, really funny that we said time and investment. I think I said that. Six of Pentacles is like what you put into something and what you get out of it. He's giving to this person because he knows he's going to get something out of it, and he's not giving to this person because he knows maybe that person won't return the favor or won't balance things out, right? So I did kind of say that with the Knight of Swords. It is almost balance, but I think the balance is time. Like what you have learned how much time something requires. And this might not sound important, and I don't know, even me as a reader, I'm like, why the hell is this important? But, obviously it is. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the King of Wands. Yes, very good. Growth. Four of Pentacles, I was saying growth. The thing about the Four of Pentacles and the King of Wands is the King of Wands is like the true innovator. He is the entrepreneur, some say. But one thing I think people don't say about the King of Wands is that he is an innovator. He has the gift of foresight. Even though we don't consider him to be intuitive, he almost can see the future. And, he can come up with very futuristic ideas. He can come up with, things the world has never seen before. And if you're having those ideas, like in work and business and love, whatever, to do something that's never been done before, now is the time. Virgo, I feel that, it's going to maybe be risky, because you could potentially look like a fool if you do it, but I don't know. At the same time, it looks pretty good to me. Next, we are going to look at what is being eclipsed out of your life, and you have this Let It Go card. There you go. So you have this card that says in perfect harmony, something that probably needs to be let go of in the first place. So, again, I think you absolutely are probably letting go of something that you need to let go of. I think this is your identity, here, Virgo. I feel, as I've said to you over the past couple of months at least, or maybe the past year, you've been getting these readings that really say you're releasing some part of your identity or, part of who you are. But it's not like you're completely changing. I think this is just a natural, growth cycle or something. You have the Hangman. I think this is true for a lot of people right now, that we all are seeing things from new perspectives. We have Uranus and Gemini. Uranus will retrograde into Taurus this year, but doesn't really matter. I think for a lot of you, it's like you could be seeing certain things in life that no longer serve you, or you could be, realizing that you need to change direction. You could be being enlightened to new perspectives at this time as well, which Neptune in Pisces and Aries alone, both of those placements is new perspective. Neptune's on its way back into Pisces right now. It's retrograding. So it's going to be there until like January of next year, basically the beginning of the year, but it's really like the end of January that it enters back into Aries. And so, again, we are in a time where our beliefs are being challenged. Neptune is a direct challenge Neptune in Pisces is a direct challenge to traditional belief. We all have things that we just believe because there's no good reason. And, Neptune in Pisces kind of like challenges those things, whatever they are. And so I think a lot of you could be just letting go of old beliefs. Next, you have the Ten of Pentacles. I actually feel really good about this. I think that this is what you are opening up to. But at the same time, I feel this is also something that you are getting very realistic about. I feel like, is that a release? I'm not sure. But, it's almost like sometimes we can have a dream of what, the Ten of Pentacles is everything we want and desire in life. So we can have that dream. We can have a, crazy idea. But, kind of the thing that hurts the dream is when we realize the amount of work that we're going to have to put in to make it happen. Or, maybe if we want to do something like hard, we realize what we're going to have to do to get it. But I kind of feel you're more like balanced. I feel like you see the dream. It's like you see what your life could be, right? This is the Ten of Pentacles is if there was an ultimate version of you, of your life, like what would that look like, right? And I love having people do this exercise, like write it down. Like what would it look like if your life went 100% according to plan? If everything were perfect, what would that look like? That's the Ten of Pentacles. But, do we ever get that? Probably not. That's not the purpose of life. We're here to like learn things, and if things were easy, we would actually probably be pretty bored. And but what I would say is when we can get clear on the steps we could take to get to it, the Ten of Pentacles, then things can go very well for us. It's definitely a worthy goal. And so I feel a lot of you could be becoming more realistic about the dream. Even next, we have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is the illusion, right? So Seven of Cups, I think, sometimes can be a good card, personally. And sometimes I feel it's even kind of like the Nine of Cups. Sometimes the Seven of Cups can be manifesting a wish. So, that is definitely a possibility. But I feel this is more like the fantasy. He's imagining these 7 cups. He's imagining the 7 things that are in those 7 cups. The whole point of the Seven of Cups is that he needs to manifest those cups on Earth. He needs to find out what is going to happen. And maybe that's what you're releasing, is kind of like just the mental side of dreaming. Because again, I do like the Seven of Cups, but my problem with the Seven of Cups is if you never bring it down to reality, especially right now. That's the problem with Neptune and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces is mental masturbation. It's getting off about something in your life, in your head. It's like if you live it too much in your head, you never bring it into reality. So, we have to, that's the trick with Neptune and Pisces, is we have to like bring something actually down to earth. With the Hangman, you have the Empress. Yep, very abundant reading. So you definitely could be attracting a lot of abundance at this time. I also feel that you are kind of like releasing the need to work hard here, is what I'm getting. The Empress doesn't work hard. She works efficiently, and I feel a lot of you are becoming more efficient. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Page of Pentacles. For some of you, I feel like you're releasing a dream and starting a new one. For some of you, it's like maybe you're saying, it's okay if I don't, want this thing in my life anymore. I can go find something else. It's like, I do think sometimes we have a hard time with that. If we think we have to have a dream when we're younger, and then, excuse me, if we come up with a new dream in the future, it's like we think, well, what about the old dream? Because we're taught that we, can't change or whatever. I don't know. I feel that for some of you, where it's like maybe you did have a dream at one point, but it's not your dream any longer. And I feel like that's what you could be realizing here. With the Seven of Cups, you have 2 cards. You have the Temperance card and the Queen of Cups. So the Temperance card, well, number one, if you want love, there definitely could be a divine counterpart coming in for you. You have the King and Queen of Wands and the King and Queen of Cups here, so there could be like a very fiery, passionate connection coming in for you with these 2 cards, which is great. I also feel the Temperance card could say this is 2 people who will mix well together. So if you don't have love already, definitely could be a very solid connection. On top of that, this is about following your heart. The Queen of Cups, she really values what her heart is telling her to do. Next, we're going to look at where you're being redirected at this time. Again, usually eclipses kind of either redirect us or get us onto our destined path, as I already said. You have this Law of Attraction card and this Take the Lead card. Yes, I mean, it's an excellent time for pretty much everyone to take the lead. We all kind of have to be fools right now. Like I said with the Fool card, we all have to be willing to take the risk of people calling us a fool and saying that we're wrong or that we shouldn't do what we're doing or whatever, right? So we all have to be like kind of independent in that sense right now. And we all have to not try to, seek others' approval. I think that is definitely a theme that I would say these eclipses could be kind of triggering for you, Virgo. You have the Queen of Wands. And I'm not saying you're not independent. You could be very independent, but, it's like I think that sometimes we can be independent, but we can still care, obviously what other people think or, it can still affect us in some level. And so the Queen of Wands in this row is, in also this, I think is saying, that you have to not care, right? You have the Hierophant, the Seven of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. The Hierophant, I think this is saying that you are being redirected towards education or learning things. It's like, not that you're not learning things. I just think it is an extra good time to learn things, is what the Hierophant says. He is the teacher. He is teaching these two people in front of him something. So I do feel it would be a great time for you to learn. It would be a great time for self-education. All that stuff, right, would be really good for you, Virgo. So, I would definitely encourage learning and self-education with the Hierophant. I think it would be very beneficial for you. Next, if I can get it off the table, you have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is redirection for sure. He is going to war, but in a different way. He is stealing these swords from this army in the background. So I feel a lot of you are being encouraged to look at all areas of your life and look for a new approach. I always say this is a good card. Golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. And so the trick with the Seven of Swords is that we have to look at everything we're doing in life, and we have to research. We have to learn, like I just said with the Hierophant, and we have to figure out, is there a better way that I can do things? Is there a better way I can live my life, or not? I don't know. I really can't answer that question for you. So you have to figure it out. And I would look for better ways of doing everything that you're doing. The other thing that I would say is more fun, right? He has these polka dots on his cloak. Polka dots in the tarot represent needing to not take things too seriously, needing to do more of the things that you enjoy, that you love to do, all that other good stuff. So I would make sure that you are doing more fun things in your life, and I would make sure you're doing more things that are fun. That would probably be helpful. You have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really making things happen. She needs to embrace those energies to make things happen in her life. She also needs to follow her bliss, and I think that's where you are being redirected, Virgo. You are being directed to follow what brings you joy, and that can be very scary, because it's like, if starting a restaurant where all you sell is peanut butter and jelly is the thing that's going to bring you joy, people are going to call you nuts. But I'm sure there probably is a restaurant that sells only peanut butter and jelly that is very successful. They probably are very creative with it, right? But that's the trick with the Queen of Wands, is that we have to, do what brings us joy, no matter what anyone says, and we have to get creative with it. I feel if you do that, then you literally could open a 5 Michelin star peanut butter and jelly restaurant. If you got creative enough, right? So there you go. But let's see. With the Hierophant, you have the High Priestess. Definitely could be a spiritual connection coming in for you, Virgo. It really doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's a fated time for you anyway, because you have an eclipse in your sign and your opposite sign. You also have the South Node and North Node, South Node in your sign, North Node in Pisces. Very fated kind of energy, which can bring in fated connections. So it wouldn't surprise me if you were attracting a person, if you don't already have one. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Star. Yes, what do you really want? The Star is about having a North Star. If you want to start that peanut butter and jelly business, then you need to have a peanut butter and jelly podcast. You need to have a YouTube channel. You really need to become the king or queen of peanut butter and jelly, right? That is the Star. The Star is about having a North Star. It's like making something your guiding light. And, becoming it's like, imagine yourself becoming the spokesperson for something, like an idea. It's like, I don't know why that's popping into my head, but that's what I get for you, Virgo. Like, if you want to do something right now, if I were you, that's what I would do. Is like, I would become the president of literally an idea or something. It's like, you need to have a podcast. Like I said, you need to do all the stuff to make it part of your life. And I feel if you do that, you'll be very successful. There could be a lot of attention for you. Empress in the Star is amazing for attention. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Nine of Pentacles. We talked about independence already. So Nine of Pentacles is the card of independence and being independent. She's perfectly independent. She's also the card of gratitude and luxuries. Money looks very good in this reading. So, a lot of you, whatever you're doing to make money or to improve your finances looks good, Virgo. I would just keep doing what you're doing. I don't have anything else to add. Except for, again, literally, if you are thinking about starting a business, or if you want to start a side hustle, I think you need to become the president of something, the king, even if you're a woman, doesn't matter. I think you need to claim yourself, not the queen, the freaking king, the head honcho, the number one of something, but if you have that attitude about it, then literally I think you could make some crazy stuff happen, right? So yeah, that's what I get there. Next in the area of, we are looking at what's your next chapter, the next 6 months. Again, when we have eclipses, it's fate, it's destiny, it sets up then our next 6 months basically, at least, if not longer. You have this running card. It says vitality, striving, urgency, and avoiding. You have this dream yoga card. It says awareness, fearlessness, and emptiness. I feel like you are becoming fearless in general. I also feel like you could be working on health. I mean, you literally start with the Three of Swords. Three of Swords can be heartbreak, but really, you're like the 10th sign that has had the Three of Swords at the end here, which is crazy. But we are in a time of healing. Again, South Node Virgo, eclipse in Virgo on the 21st in your sign. It's like that is healing. So I think that looking at anything in your life that needs to be healed and just going through the healing would be a good idea. Excellent time for forgiveness as well. So, the Three of Swords is all about forgiving the past or forgiving situations. So I think, forgiving things would be a good idea with this card as well. You have the King of Cups. King of Cups is about following your heart, right? And also, again, I think this could be a person with that Queen of Cups. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be a King of Cups type person. With the Three of Swords, this would be about stabilizing your emotions. The King of Cups, he has very deep emotions. He has explored his emotions to a deep level. That's the whole point of the card. So he's exploring his emotions, but he is not drowning in his emotions. And we are, like I said, you have this card that says emotions are running high. We are in an emotional time. So I think it's a great time to explore those emotions and then release them, right? You want to make sure that you're not drowning in your emotions. You want to use them constructively as well, and I would definitely make sure to do that. You have the Three of Wands. Yeah, I think this is encouraging you to go wild. Exceed your wildest dreams, your wildest expectations. Is it going to be easy? No, but I definitely have been... I think I have been encouraging you to do this for a while. So, Three of Wands, we have to expand. We have to, get out into the world. We have to do things maybe that we've never done before. And, that's really what I would encourage with this card is like to, go do things you've never done before, put yourself out there, do things to set yourself apart, all that other good stuff I think would be very good for you, Virgo. With the Three of Swords, you have the Emperor. I don't know why I couldn't spit that out, but definitely a divine counterpart. Look, we have spiritual divine counterpart, divine counterpart, divine counterpart, and then divine counterpart. So, definitely could be a very solid connection. What's interesting as well is that a lot of people have been getting these readings that have been kind of saying that you could be attracting a person that's healing you. Now, of course, I don't think anyone should heal us. I don't think we should heal anyone else because you have to do that on your own, right? But, as long as you are working on yourself, if a person kind of helps a little bit, there's really nothing wrong with that. So, again, I kind of feel this could be a person where it's like, I'm not saying they're the one that is doing the healing for you, but I definitely feel they could help. With the King of Cups, you have the Page of Swords. Definitely, some of you either have your eye on a person or a person has their eye on you. I'm wondering if you're looking at a star. I'm not saying you're like attracting a famous person here or anything, Virgo, but definitely could be a person that you see as a star. He's literally, it's hard to see, but he's literally looking at the star. So, you could be literally attracting someone, very special, Virgo, which is nice. The Page of Swords is also about curiosity. So I think it would be a great time to be curious about your emotions, but again, don't let them drown you. With the Three of Wands, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, there are many opportunities. This is true for everyone. Like, if we want opportunities, we have to get out of our comfort zone. That's what the universe wants everybody to do right now with all these major astrological shifts. We are living in a crazy-ass astrological time. There are things that literally will never happen again for hundreds of years. Pluto and Aquarius. We had all these major planets basically changing signs at exactly the same time within a year of each other, right? Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter, all changing signs very quickly, which is crazy. We are having 3 retrogrades in exactly the same part of the sky, basically in Leo at the same time. So we had Mars go retrograde in Leo, and not exactly the same part of the sky, but then we had Mercury go retrograde in Leo, just this recent Mercury retrograde. Next year, Jupiter will go retrograde in Leo. Again, crazy-ass opportunity for people. I've been begging people to leave comfort zones, do things you've never done before. It could literally be anything. Maybe you go to the same store every single day, go to another one. Maybe you go for a walk every single in one direction, go in another direction. It might sound silly, but it's like those new directions, literal, are going to be the thing that changes your life. So, that's what I would do there. I also feel like there could be some very solid opportunities for you just in general, so I would be looking at new opportunity in general. You have this practicality card. Yeah, keep it simple at this time. I said this at the beginning of the year in the 2025 readings. We are definitely in a time where, keep it simple, right? Just plain and simple. Next, you have this appreciation card. Yeah, but tons of cards of gratitude here. So the more grateful you can be for what you have, the better. Virgo, I think that's going to lead to the most abundance. You have this companionship card. Yeah, definitely attracting a true companion. I think there could be a very solid connection, clearly, if you don't already have it. Some of you might already have this person in your life, I feel, and I'm pretty sure I've said that to you before. I don't really say that to any other sign, so, I feel like you have a person, some of you, and it could be your companion. You have this drama card. Avoid the drama. Like I said, we have these the set of 3 retrogrades in Leo. The last one will be next year when Jupiter retrogrades in Leo. It's a very short one. I don't remember exactly how long it is, but it retrogrades back into Cancer pretty quickly. But I would still avoid the drama. And finally, you have this choices card. Pick the new path, plain and simple. Everything about this reading is screaming new reality, right? Like new direction. So that's what I would choose. But this looks really good, Virgo. I love this for you. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.